Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule at the defense rests.
Good morning. Good morning. It's been New Year. I just realised that I'm like, why can't I hear anything in my headphones? You know why? Because I disconnected them. I'm a dipshit. Yep. And who is that crazy-haired, buxom beauty on my screen? He's just washed their hair and it's gone cray-cray. Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, make sure these settings are right because... Oh, yes. Lovely. Good job, Jackie. It works better when you plug them in. Good morning, my love. How are we? Howdy. Arrivederci. Oh, Lord. Are we up for some shenanigans, Schabusiness style? Because I got some. She's back in the spotlight again at the moment because she has recently agreed to have her jail calls released. She was being interviewed by Law and Crime on the phone. And good morning, Miss Simi. How you doing? We're talking about Miss Taylor Schabusiness. She was being interviewed by Law and Crime on the jail phones, and she agreed to let them release the phone calls. So she don't hold back. No, Sherry. Nope, no Sherry Bob. She's pretty special. I do like business. Don't know why, I just do. She's just so honest about it. Like, yeah, sort of did. Yep. Mm-hmm. But she actually goes into a bit of detail, and she sort of says why, and basically because they must belong to a different gang affiliation or some crap over there. I don't know. And they're not supposed to fraternize with one another. And she went over to buy, I think, some weed off him, and she gave him a hundo, and it was only 50, and he didn't give her the 50 back change. So that was it. Oh, don't even go there, Simi. It's not worth it. No. I hate it. I just I post my shit up there, but I do not stay and read, and I do not comment, and I don't get involved because that's it's toxic. Don't go there. Don't do it. I promise you, don't do it. It's not worth it. And the only reason I actually joined it is because to try and get in contact with other content creators, they don't put their email addresses in their YouTube channel. So the only way that you can contact a lot of them is to slide into their DMs. Yeah, I've been doing that a bit, but I certainly do not go on and answer. What? Who's the flying monkeys? What's going on? Oh dear. I hope she's okay. Who are they? So is it all on X? Like they're having a go at her on X? Is that, or is it her YouTube or Video Jesus? Video Jesus was her name's is it she was Aussie's offsider. What's her name? I can't remember her name, but yeah, she was the chick that was always with Aussie Insider. And she turned on her as well, I think. I try to stay out of it. Going after Kurt too. Kurt won't care. He'll just water off a duck's back for Kurt. He'll give as good as he gets, no doubt. But so who are they? Really? Oh well, let him do it. Hello, Christine. How are you, sweetheart? I'm getting there. Slowly. I've got a massive week of specialist appointments and dental surgery and just yeah. So, but I'll be all right. Thank you very much for asking. Yeah, I can't do the drama. I just can't. That's why I don't go on there. I did start a couple once. I think I was looking for Ian, and I was scrolling down, and someone had commented on his, and I just couldn't help myself. I just let loose and then disappeared. Dump and run. That was me. Yeah, nah, not interested. I can't. Wow. And Glera as well. Hang on. So Glera is after. Hang on. Glera is against Kurt and Miss Shorty. Where did you repost it? Christine uplifts me. Oh, isn't she lovely? Thank you, Christine. I do try and come over and say hello. I run out of time. I don't mean to. Yeah, that's life. That's shit. But that's gorgeous. Thank you. I did go over there last week to join a membership, but she has her memberships turned off. So I couldn't do it, but I did try. The thought was there. Oh, God. Okay. Well, they're big boys. That's what they do. It's clickbait, basically. And that's exactly what happened with Turtle Boy and Krusty. You know, the more drama they have, the more clicks they get. I'm not interested in getting I don't get my clicks from Route 66. All right, I'd rather focus on Schabusiness because she's funny. So she's back in the limelight because, yeah, she's been airing her jail calls through Law and Crime, and she's been spilling the beans. And she's also got another trial coming up in October, which I think is for assault of one of the officers. I think it's assaulting someone anyway. So I've put a little something together. Oh, hang on. I can do this now. I can use my little deep dive. Here we go.
Here we go again, my friends. fantasy that never ends. You know that I cannot survive without doing a deep, deep dive.
And I did a membership one. You want to see it? Of course you do. Of course you do. How did you not? Ready? Go.
Come on in, don't be shy, don't stall. We got a funky vibe. Woo! Defense West, that's where you belong. Click that like and groove along. Hit subscribe, let the love flow free. Join the fam where you're meant to be.
I know, I'm a dickhead. But at least I'm a dickhead to myself. Oh dear. You made a wish list on Amazon? What for? Just cause? I'd like a wish list on Amazon. But I can only afford Temu. Oh dear. Oh, excuse me. Clumsy. Goodness me. I set up. Oh, whoops. Camera's caught the. No, that's not a walking. That's not a walking frame. Nope. Nope. I'm gonna see you move along. I set up the cat cam for this side, and wrong side, dickhead. Like that side's heated. And then you're on the Bible, you realise. Because the trial Bible. I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah? I don't care. I don't care, Mum. Obviously not. All right. Let's have a look at this. For a laugh. Let's all get up in Schabusiness.
The state is trying to link my client with Jeffrey Dahmer by offering these exhibits.
No worries.
I had my niece with me, and she was
watching a lot of
series on Dahmer. A
Oh,
lot of series on Dahmer, and then everybody thought I was dating Dahmer, so people were laughing at my saying I was dating Dahmer. I took a picture with his and then I was trying to put it on a blow-up doll, a customized blow-up doll.
mm-hmm.
Trying to put
His face,
trying to
and
put
then,
Jeffrey
send it off
Dahmer's
to
face on a blow-up doll. Because people were saying that she was dating him. So there's a photo of her laying on a bed, and she's got her phone beside her with a picture of Jeffrey Dahmer, and she's taken that on the pillow just to take the piss, basically.
one of my friends.
Schabusiness mentions in that recording, and according to her poem that she read out, that Shad Thyrion allegedly had stolen from her, and that's why she says she, quote, took him out.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to be doing business with my ex, but I did, and then what he did, he pocketed the money that I was supposed to have, so I went out and took his out for that. As soon as that went down, I started chopping up the body, because I did one thing for sure. I did have, I had a lot of motherfuckers out there.
I love this piece. It's like my
I'm trying to
Well,
work on this appeal, and get out.
Throughout the call, we asked Schabusiness about the crime, but also her personal background, what she wanted to be when she grew up, or what she daydreamed about. The other voice in this clip that you'll hear is our booking producer, Diane Kay.
I would like to be a teacher, or I'd like to be a whatever, you know?
What would you like to be, Taylor? What's that?
I'd like to be still slinging my pussy on the street, but, over here, it's all right.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense.
Well,
I was on the run in Texas after having my baby taken. I decided to make things right and clear up north when I got back. They put my on the bracelet. I went to buy a bag on the low, so I went to my ex who was a Satan disciple, and family, we all Latin kings.
That must
So
be
we
gangs,
deep
is
and
it?
we don't with SDs. I gave him $100 for the bag, and the bag was $50.
Gave him $100.
He pocketed the cash. Me and him and another homie all smoked up, and then my homie left, and I went to drop off my ex, and he wanted before I left. So I went into the basement, and he went and pulled out 2 chains. I asked him, where my money at, fool? And he said, I ain't got it. So I took a chain, I put it around his neck, and I asked him again, where my at? He didn't respond. His face turned purple. There was blood coming out of his mouth. So I laid down on the bed.
FYI, he can't respond to you. He's dead.
I had my niece with me, and she was watching a whole lot of series on Dahmer. Up north, when I got back, they put my on the bracelet. I went to buy a bag on the low.
Yeah.
I went to my ex who was a Satan disciple, and family, we all Latin kings. So we deep and we don't with SDs. I gave him $100 for the bag, and the bag was $50. He pocketed the cash. Me and him and another homie all smoked up, and then my homie left, and I went to drop off my ex, and he wanted before I left. So I went into the basement, and he went and pulled out 2 chains. I asked him, where my money at, fool? And he said, I ain't got it. So I took a chain, I put it around his neck, and I asked him again, where my at? He didn't respond. His face turned purple. There was blood coming out of his mouth. So I laid down on the bed and to listen to his heartbeat, and I said, damn, this motherfucker's still beating. I went upstairs to grab a kitchen knife. I went back downstairs, took off his pants. I sucked his cut his head off at the same time because all the SC that I would ever be doing would be sucking. Then I chopped his.
Do you hear that? Okay. That's Kinky is using a feather and perverted is using the whole chook kind of vibe going on there. Let me just hear that again. Let's go.
I had my niece with me, and she was
stupid bitch
in the bed, and to listen to his heartbeat, and I said, damn, this
I know.
still beating. I went upstairs to grab a kitchen knife. I went back downstairs, took off his pants. I sucked his cut his head off at the same time. Because the only SC that I would ever be doing would be sucking. Then I chopped his off and conceal the crime. I used a nearby shower drain to pour out the blood and put in bags and boxes around the basement to store the body parts in, and plastic bags for the organs. I was covering up his body, and while the people were entering the basement, I would continue to cut him up, and then I would cover him up, and then.
So people were apparently coming in and out. So she would just like cover him up with a doona, and when they left, she'd keep going.
When they would leave, I would cut them back up, and then I headed out to the truck, and I started loading up the body parts in there. And then I went back to the apartment I was staying at after chopping it up with my roommate. I went to go get rid of the body, and then there was cops surrounding the place with their guns out telling us to get down, get on the floor, and that's why I'm in custody today.
Hey there, thanks for stopping in. We hope you will join us again. We all look forward to next time. We get to talk about true crime.
Yeah, they said that it was almost like a poem that she had written. Oh, gee, shoo. No, we don't want that. Thank you. Yeah, it was like, but fuck. Yeah. That's why. Do you remember? Did you watch the trial? In the trial, her the roommate, the Indian guy, actually said that, and that's why she was laughing and did that, because it was ironic. You know, we're chopping it up in the bedroom, and she's like, well, she's honest. I suppose could be worse things. That's a trial I wouldn't mind watching again, actually. I just read my emails. It says the Defense Stress is live now, smoking it up with her homies. Okay. All right. So I have been working away here. And what I did with the 314 documents dumped from the Brian Koberger from the Monroe Police Department, I loaded them all up into my database. And I separated them into like crime scene exculpatory evidence type of documents and administrative stuff. So, because there was a heap of, like, I wrote a subpoena for this, I wrote a warrant for that, I delivered DNA to this lab, that type of stuff. So I've singled them out, and I have a list. Where are we? Come to mama. Now, I can't remember which ones we went through the other day and which ones we didn't, because they're all saved in alphabetical order, and I didn't tick them off. So, I know we did the K-bar. We didn't do the autopsy. Okay, let's have a look at the autopsy. Share screen. What's that one in? That one, I think, yes. Share. Add to stage. Okay. Now, this is zoom. I know it's here somewhere. Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Stop looking. I found it. Okay. How do I get rid of that? Ah, there you go. Look at me go. Okay. So, this is the 21st of November, 2022. And it's the Spokane County Medical Examiner. On November 16th, 22, at approximately 7:45 in the morning, Latah County Coroner Cassie Mabut and I attended the 4 autopsies for Zanika Nodal, Ethan Chapin. Oh, hang on. I remember now. I made a special thing for it. Hang on. There we go. Damn it. Hang on. Nope. Nope. I'm not very good at this, am I? Hang on. And I can't get to the... There it is. I just need to get rid of a layout. And I'll be able to adjust. Delete. Okay. Thank you. Now I should be able to adjust this one. And move it. Oh. Move it. Like. There you go. Look at that. Lucky. You can get smaller. We don't need you there. You can get bigger on this way. How's that? Look at that. That better? Now you can see them all. Ta-da! All right. Much happier. All right, so. Oops. Okay, so I attended the 4 autopsies for Zanika Nodal, Ethan Chapin, Madison Logan, and Kaylee Conculbers. at the Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office in Spokane. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm probably butchering it. And I can't read and watch the chat either. Sorry. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just reading. They were performed by Dr. Blake. Gary Tolson, a detective with ISP, observed 3 of the autopsies, Canodal, Mogan, and Goncalves, and as he arrived after the autopsy for Chapin was performed. During the autopsies, the following items of evidence were collected. Okay, so they did hand swabs of wrists, forearm, feet, ankles, okay, orifices, hair, nails, handbags, t-shirts, pants, a silver earring, a sock, and an SD photo card. I did the same for Madison and Zana. She had an Under Armour sweatshirt on. Calvin Klein undies. And the same for Ethan. Major crime prints. As part of the autopsies, major crime prints were taken from each of the victims by the Spokane County Forensic Unit. Chapin's prints were taken and released to me on the 16th of November. Canodal's prints were taken on the 16th and released to me on the same day. Mogan's and Goncalves' prints were both taken on the 17th in the morning and were left at the County Medical Examiner's Office on the 17th. I responded to the Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office and collected Mogan's and Goncalves' prints from from blah, blah, blah. Major crime prints taken by the following. Okay, so I listed that. At the conclusion of the 4 autopsies, Dr. met with Kathy Mavitt, Gary Tolson, and myself and told us the following. Graphic content, sorry. Ethan Chapin's fatal injury was from a stab wound under his left clavicle, which severed his subclavian vein and subclavian artery. So that's under here, under your clavicle. And also his jugular vein was severed. So it's coming. Ethan only had sharp force injuries. Xana Canodal's fatal injuries were from 1 laceration in her right lung and 2 lacerations in her heart. Canodal had 50 plus stab wounds, mostly defensive. Fuck. Madison Mogan's fatal injuries included a left lung laceration and a liver laceration. So the lung will have filled up with blood and she wouldn't have been able to breathe, and the liver it bleeds like a stuck pig into your abdomen. Madison only had sharp force injuries. Kaylee, her fatal injuries included a left lung laceration, a liver laceration, 2 subdural bleeds, so that's in the brain, and a stab behind her clavicle, which cut her subclavian vein and artery. Behind her clavicle. Must have come in from the back then. Kaylee had signs of sharp force injuries, asphyxial injuries, you fucker, and blunt force injuries. It says here that she had 20 plus stab wounds, but at the press conference, Steve said that it was actually 32. And her face was unrecognizable. Doctor said the weapon used was not serrated. It was single-edged, very sharp, and said a lot of force was used by the suspect. I will be uploading his final autopsy reports to the case file when they are completed. On November 16th at approximately 7:55 p.m., I drove from Spokane County Medical Examiner's office to the FBI office, located at Blur, and met with Special Agent Brian Gunnison. Several of the clothing items collected during the autopsies were still wet and needed to dry in evidence dryers overnight. Sergeant Gunnison and I placed the following items in two separate dryers, dryer 1 and dryer 2, in the evidence room, and I released the items to Sergeant Gunnison. Sergeant Gunnison signed for the items on 16th at approximately 9:02. The items belonged to Goncalves and Logan were placed into dryer 1, and the items belonging to Knodel and Chapin were placed in dryer 2. So handbags, T-shirts, a Corner Club one saying nasty and inebriated, pants, Joe Boxer grey and black flannel sock, a white Adidas sock. Maddie's handbag, short sleeve T-shirt with pink pants and a black Vandal Russell brand sweatpants. Oh, I see. It's not a handbag. It's the bags they put on their hands to protect the evidence. Sorry, not handbags, as in, over the shoulder. Okay. I transported the remainder of the evidence items back to Monroe Police Department and placed them into the evidence fridge in the evidence room. On November 17th in the morning, I drove to the FBI office located and met with Special Agent Bryant Gunnison. I removed the dried items from the dryer 1 and 2 and packaged them back into their original bags along with the items I turned over to Sergeant Gunnison on the 16th. I then collected 2 additional items, one bag which contained the drop sheet, filter and security tag from dryer 1 and one bag which contained the drop sheet, filter and security tag from dryer 2. Gunnison released the items to me on the 17th, approximately 11:28, and I transported them back to MPD. Evidence technician booked them in. All the items collected from the autopsies were in the MPD evidence. Okay, that's that one. What's this one? This is, I think this was agency reports and video collection. Share. You'll read that. You can go again. That's better. Okay. June 26, 25. Really? I reached out to Pullman PD records technician and requested any reports, charging documents, and all recordings involving, looks like Madison, from June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 25. Could be. I informed them I had located the following reports involving someone in Spillman related to PPD. They responded and provided me with a link to GovQA where I downloaded all of the reports, body cam video, and other recordings provided. I reviewed the body cam footage from Dr. So-and-so in the following video. At approximately 8:30 minutes into the video, someone talks about having to testify in the upcoming murder trial involving the 4 college girls because she is the DoorDash driver. I've got that one. I haven't read it, but I've got it. Someone's voice is muffled, but it sounds like she says, "I saw Brian there, parked right next to him." June 26th, I contacted. So did they only find this out like a month ago? You for shoes? I contacted MPD Property Records Coordinator and requested any reports, charging documents, and all recordings involving blah, blah, blah from June 1st, 22 through to May 31st, 25, and informed them I'd located the following reports involving so-and-so in Spillman. They replied and provided me with 2 reports. No recordings were provided for the reports. Whitman County Sheriff's Office. On June 26th, I contacted Whitman County Sheriff's Office Records Technician, requested reports. Same thing. They responded and provided me with copies of the 4 reports. No recordings were provided for the reports. I downloaded all of the reports and recordings provided by the 3 agencies and copied them to several DVDs. All of the reports were copied onto DVD 1. The videos provided by PPD were divided amongst 3 due to their size. The video described above is copied onto DVD 3, labelled PPD Axon. I booked the DVDs into evidence. Right. Okay. Next. DoorDash. I hate how it bumps me off every time. I think it would just scroll to the next one. Okay. Interview with so-and-so. On November 23rd, 22, at approximately 8:39 p.m., came to Moscow Police Department to be interviewed about her presence in the area of 1122 King Road during the early morning hours of November 13, 22. She was identified as being in the area through records obtained from DoorDash via a search warrant and was confirmed as being in the area based off a Google geofence warrant, which was obtained as a result of this investigation. I was accompanied by FBI Special Agent Alex Skelton during this interview. She told me she worked for 12 to 18 hours on the night of November 12th to the 13th and received 3 orders in the King Road, Queen Road area. 2 of the orders were at the something Queen Road apartment complex, which is immediately to the east of 112. Oh, excuse me. Don't know where that came from. Ooh, don't they say 3 sneezes is worth an orgasm? God damn it. It's one short story of my life. Gosh, where was I? Which was located. Stop it, buddy. All right, the east of 1122 King Road. She said the delivery at 1122 King Road was her final order for the evening. She said she could not find the 112 King Road address as the address number was hidden by the porch light, which caused her to remain in the area for approximately 15 minutes. She also stated her Google Maps told her to go to the parking lot immediately behind 1122 King Road. She stated she initially parked in the front of 1122 King Road and could see a female in the top left window, the 3rd-story bathroom. Oh. She said she saw the same female a couple more times in the same window, and she would duck down when she looked at her. She then said she drove to the back parking lot behind 1122 King Road and parked. She stated she couldn't see the back courtyard area behind the house and noticed all of the lights were on. She stated her map told her to walk into the back of the house, but she did not feel comfortable doing so because there was no path. She said she started to walk down the road, which runs north-south immediately to the east of the residence. She stated a tan sedan drove next to her while she was walking. She said there was one male driver and noticed he did not look at me. She said he looked completely zoned and just drove by her. She later stated the driver was white with blonde or red spiky hair. She also noticed the dome light in the car was on when it went by and later told me The male was wearing a light-coloured collar shirt. She stated she walked back up to her car and drove back to the front of 1122 King Road, at which point she saw the address numbers. She said she placed the order at the front door, took a picture, and then left at approximately 4 a.m. During the time she was in the area of the King Road residence, the white Elantra can be seen via the King Road camera driving back and forth on Willenta Drive and then enter the King Queen Road loop at approximately 3:56 a.m. At the point she pulled into the front parking lot before she dropped the order off, the white Elantra pulled in behind her vehicle, a grey Subaru Forester, and then exited the King Road at approximately 3:58 a.m. She did not mention seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time. I continued to question her about her time near the residence. She told me she walked down Queen Road at one point with her flashlight out and can be seen doing so on the footage from King Road camera. She also continued to tell me the female she saw in the upstairs bathroom window would duck down when she looked at her. She described her as having long brown hair. She stated she could not identify the girl as one of the victims. Approximately 30 minutes into the interview, Sergeant Skelton requested to take part in a cognitive interview. She agreed, and Sergeant Skelton began the cognitive interview. During this interview, she confirmed much of the information she already told us. She was able to remember she had her dog with her during one of her walks in the area, but did not clarify much more in the ways of the details of the evening. We thanked her for her cooperation, offered her any support she may need, and concluded her interview. Can you imagine? Like, how close did she come to being a potential victim? Like, fuck. That would just give me chills. Fuck, I've got goosebumps already. Subsequent investigations of video footage and cellular data showed the tan sedan she saw was likely a light-coloured SUV which left the area. Moreover, it does not appear she saw the white Elantra at any point during her time near the residence. I certify, I declare the penalty. Yeah, that is true. Wow. I wonder who was upstairs. The third floor was where Maddie and Kaylee were. No blonde, so... Okay. Next. I think out of all of those 314, I think there's 51 that are actual, that are not like just subpoenas and warrants and stuff. Oh, why do I get a runny nose whenever I'm sitting here? I hate the sniffles. Hate it. I know I've got some paper towel here somewhere. There it is. Here's what I prepared earlier. Okay. So, this is they're emptying the house. You remember that video that we saw, the three four-wheel drives, and they were bringing out all the mattresses and stuff and emptying stuff. Okay. So this was the 8th of December. Disposable camera size seized and vehicle keys. Kodak Power Flash disposable camera. On December 7th, 2022 at approximately 10 a.m., I was assisting with the packing and moving of personal belongings out of the residence at 1122 King Street. Captain Barrett and I were in the process of packing items from Kaylee and Carlos's room in the 3rd floor. Inside the closet, I was removing items from a black plastic 3-drawer organizer. In the bottom drawer, I located a Kodak Power Flash disposable camera and a GoPro camera in the small black zippered pouch. I was unaware if these items had been located during any of the previous searches of the residence, so I took custody of them until I could learn that information. I advised Captain Barrett of the items and showed them to him. After completing the packing and moving of personal belongings, I brought the GoPro and the Kodak camera back to the police department. Prior to leaving the residence, I also took possession of the keys to all of the vehicles belonging to the deceased. Once back at the police department, I locked the items into a temporary storage locker. I later contacted the investigative team and learned the memory card from the GoPro was seized during a previous search. And the camera itself was of no evidentiary value. On December the 8th, I met with property coordinator, assisted in booking in the Kodak camera into evidence. Took the vehicle keys and the GoPro camera to the city shop where the rest of the personal belongings from 1122 King Street residence were being stored. Placed them into the boxes containing Kaylee's belongings. Left the vehicle keys contained in a Ziploc bag. Okay, that's that one. How do I go to next from here? Oh, just like that. Idiot. Oh my God. Okay. Come on. Come on. Open it up. Come on. There we go. Good job. 13th of December. On 15th of the 11th, I applied for and was granted a search warrant. Okay. For Queen Road, based off the following information as well as previous investigations. Based off this information, what's OFC? Oh, Officer House. Sorry. Officer House. House got me. And I responded to Queen Road at approximately 10 a.m. on the 15th. We walked on the common walkway in front of the door to blah blah apartments and observed the exterior of the door. The area around the door had numerous spots of a dried fluid which appeared to be rust drops from a metal door frame, not on the frame itself. I observed what appeared to be a different fluid spot on the door, approximately 8 inches up from the bottom of the door under the door knob. I also noticed the deadbolt plating was clean, polished silver and had no dirt on it. I think this is his house in Pullman, perhaps. Oh no, this is Queen Road. Okay. I walked away from the door in order to conduct an interview on a possible witness. Officer House and several members of the ISP Forensics Unit, to include Detective Hugh Powell, walked back to the Queen Road. I met back up with Officer House and Detective Powell a short time later, and they told me they believed the spot of dried fluid on the door displayed similar characteristics to that of dried blood. Namely, Detective Powell stated the spot displayed a cracking texture common when blood dries on a surface. The spot also displayed a similar drop pattern to the blood spots found on the banister wall and the wall of the stairwell to the ground floor, which I observed inside 1122 King Road. Officer House also told me he looked at several other doorknobs and deadbolt plates on doors in the same apartment complex, all of which had a fine layer of dust. Officer House also confirmed door did not have the same layer of dust as though it had been cleaned off. I returned to Monroe PD and was notified by Detective Vargas, who was reviewing security camera footage provided by the owners of something Linda Lane. If possible, footage of someone walking by the cameras at 3:50 a.m. hours on the 13th of the 11th. I watched the film with Detective Vargas. The cameras show the parking lot of something Linda Lane, which is situated directly south of Queen Road. The frame captures a portion of the Queen Road parking lot in front of, but does not capture the apartments themselves. The area of that Queen Road is also much darker than Linda Lane. The video is infrared and is thusly displayed in black and white. At approximately 3:50 a.m. on the 13th, per the timestamp on the video, a figure clad in dark clothing can be seen walking from the building which houses Queen Road. The figure walks to the west out of the parking lot and leaves the frame of the video as the figure enters the sidewalk area between the two. Oh, that's creepy as fuck. Ugh. The figure walks to the west out of the parking lot. Hello, Kathy. How you going, sweetheart? Have you read all these documents? I'm only reading the crime scene ones, not all the warrants. I separated them all out. Hey, Palola's mum, how you doing? You two snuck in. Louise is here too. See, I told you I can't see the chat, but I'm reading. Sorry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are we all? Oh, that was a while ago. Sorry. I wasn't ignoring you. I promise. Oh, it's lovely. This is nasty shit. Nasty shit. Giving me the creeps. I've got goosebumps. Oh. All right, where was I? The figure walks to the west out of the parking lot and leaves the frame of the video as the figure enters the sidewalk area between the two other apartment buildings of Queen Road. The terminus of this sidewalk is immediately east of the 1122 King Road. The figure is not actually. Where's my map? Might give us a better idea. Stop it, Jay. Wonder. Maybe I'll just put that one up. Okay, so that's the side view of the house. So the first floor to the left of the screen is where the front door was, where the 1122 number on the awning. The second floor is this wall here, where it actually says second floor. That's Ethan and Xana's room. And then if you go backwards from there, you've got also directly opposite that bedroom is the stairway and the lounge room, and then the kitchen to the back. And then above the kitchen is the third floor, which is where Maddie and Kaylee were, and they've got the balcony out the back. So the back sliding glass doors there, you can get into the back property, which is what the DoorDash driver was saying she could get in from there, but she wasn't comfortable doing that, so she went back round to the front. Okay. The video is infrared is thus displayed black and white. Approximately, read that bit. Figure walks to the west of the parking lot. Yep. Terminus of this sidewalk is immediately east. The figure is not captured by the cameras any further. Based off the information above, Monroe Police Department and ISP officers served a search warrant on the exterior of the front door to that Queen Road apartment. Access to the residence per this search warrant was granted only if a presumptive positive test for blood was found on the exterior door. Nothing was found during the search and the warrant was returned. It's not like you would think he would not go back into another property, would you? Really? Okay. 15th of 11th, I applied. Oh my God, stop it. Hang on. Come on, Clumsy. Help me out. Mm. I got one of these today. Just reminded me. I thought, oh, they were on special. They might be handy. Give me a bit of energy, right? So I got a few different ones, but this particular one was called Focus. So it's like it's called a super shot. It's got ginger, guarana, and ginseng and turmeric, I think. Supposed to give me brain power. I don't think it's working. But yes, I got like 3 or 4 different ones, so we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. Okie dokie. Right. Race. Applied. Oh, fuck. And you can't stop them once they start. I applied for and was granted a search warrant for Queen Road based off the following information. Did we not just read this? Yes, we did. Apologies. Okay. These are mine. Okay. Well, let's go back to the finish canvas crime scene photos. Okay. Corporal Ryan Snyder, initial response and canvas interviews. On the 13th of 11th at 1200 hours, I responded to 1122 King Road for the report of an unresponsive subject. Upon my arrival, I noticed there were several college-age subjects out front of the address. I was directed to use police caution tape to cordon off the crime scene. As I was walking around the residence, I noticed the back door was open and there were footprints in the snow coming from the back door on the back porch. Officer Smith took photos of these prints with a measuring tape. Why would you do that? Why? Peculiar. They don't do that in Massachusetts. Just saying. He watched the backyard area to make sure no one else came in to the area. I noticed there were a few footprints that led toward the west of the backyard. This portion of the backyard is connected to 2 other residences, 1118 King Road and 1126 King Road, both directly to the west. The footprints appear to lead west toward King Road between the residences, but I was unable to see where the footprints went after the yards connected due to the amount of rock landscaping. I was also unable to discern how old these prints were. There had not been recent snowfall. With Sergeant Gunderson, I entered the residence to continue taking photos of the scene. I entered through the bottom floor main door, so the front door at the bottom, where not Dylan, Brittany, is it? Someone Funk? Brittany Funk? I can't remember. something like that. Where am I? I entered through the floor main door on the north side. I took photographs of the rooms and living areas of the residents. The photos were downloaded onto a CD. As I was down the road of the address near the King Road and Queen Road intersection, I was approached by a college-aged male who identified himself as Blah. He informed me he lived at Blah King Road apartment. He said his Blah lived upstairs at 112 King Road and they share a dog. Oh, that was Jack. Ooh, that was there currently. He did not appear to have obvious wounds on his hands, as I would assume the suspect probably would. Officer Nunes was interviewing subjects about the situation. I asked Jack if he would wait inside Officer Nunes' police car so we could talk with him. He agreed to. I informed Sergeant Gunderson of the circumstances involving Jack. Jack later responded to the police department to be interviewed and then picked up the dog from the Moscow Humane Society shelter. Bethany Funk, thank you. I continued to canvass the area and speak with neighbours at blah and blah Queen Road, who stated they did not hear or see anything relevant. I spoke with subjects at King Road. One resident, blah, stated she was walking home from the corner club at about 3 a.m. and thought she could hear music or some type of noise, but she couldn't give any clarifying information more than that due to her level of intoxication. I spoke with subjects at King Road. The majority of them stated they were out drinking at the corner club and got a ride back to their place at about 1:30 and went to sleep about 2. They did not hear anything out of the ordinary. King Road residents stated at about 4 a.m. he heard a barking dog coming from the east of his residence. He believed it was the dog at 1122 King Road, as he thought that was the only dog in the area. He stated the dog sounded like it was outside and was barking for about 45 minutes until he believed someone must have let it inside, and then it stopped. He stated he had a female with him in bed at the time. That's a bit saucy. These college people. What else are you going to do? I spoke with the residents at Black King Road and informed me they had a camera facing the west of the address that they believed captures a portion of the road. They first provided me with the SIM card out of the camera, however, they could not get it to work and neither could I. They gave me the username and password to the camera. I informed Detective Mowry of the information and they gave me permission to access the camera footage and record the necessary surveillance video. So he's logged all of his photos. Okay, he was photographing the cars as well. Front door towards the first floor room. Locked door, first floor. Kitchen knife on beer pong table. Second floor facing west towards west bedroom. Second floor, west bedroom, female victim. Second floor, west bedroom, female victim. Blood on floor. Second floor, west bedroom, male victim. Second floor, west bedroom, foot of bed, male victim, female victim. Bedroom table. Second floor, living room, ping pong table, blood. Second room, living room, ping pong table, knife. Living room, floor, pong table, blood. Floor for third floor, stairs. Rear floor, bedroom. Ajar, sliding glass door. Kitchen window, handprints. Third floor, southeast bedroom, door, blood cast off. Third floor, southeast bedroom, bed, 2 female victims. Imagine walking into that. Southeast bedroom, north wall cast off. With that amount of force and strength, it would look like a bloodbath. There would be blood everywhere. Medical mask outside King Road. Didn't they find a glove as well, a black glove? From memory? Crime scene processing. Okay. 13th of the 11th. Shoot. At 10 to 7 p.m. Initial response, interviews, search warrant, application, patio, entry log. On the 13th of the 11th at approximately 11:56, I responded to... I've read this one, I think. No, I haven't. Okay. Responded to an unconscious subject, 1122 King Road in Moscow. Upon my arrival, I found a large gathering of people in the parking lot immediately north of the King Road residence. King Road is a white 3-story single-family residence with multiple bedrooms. The 1122 is located directly above the front door facing north. I was directed to a bedroom on the 2nd floor in the northwest corner to locate the unresponsive female. Upon entering the room, I observed a female laying supine on the floor, that's on her back, next to a bed. According to this female was likely Kaylee, but it wasn't. It was Xana. Must be Dylan that's saying this because there's a D I can see. Dylan also lived at 1122 King Road. I observed dried blood surrounding the body and signs of cutting trauma to her face. She was covered in so much blood I wasn't able to immediately discern. What? Didn't he say the 2nd floor? Well, it must be Xana because they said what? 50 stab wounds, yeah? I observed dried blood surrounding her body and signs of cutting trauma to her face. She was covered in so much blood I wasn't able to immediately discern where any additional injuries would have likely have been. She was apparently deceased due to her pale skin colour, rigid body tone, and apparent blood loss. On the bed in the same room, I observed a male lying supine on the bed. According to Dylan, the male was likely Ethan Chapin. Dylan said Ethan was commonly at the residence. I observed blood covering portions of Ethan's legs surrounding his body into the bedsheets and drops of blood on the wall near Ethan's head. As I backed out of this room, someone showed me a kitchen knife and said he had it in his possession. I told them to leave the knife and go back downstairs to the front entrance. Warner and I moved to visually clear the residence for any suspects or additional victims. On the 3rd floor, Officer Warner and I found 2 additionally apparently deceased females, both laying supine in a bed. This bedroom was on the southwest corner of the 3rd floor. According to Dylan, these 2 females were not Xana, it was Maddie and Kaylee. One female showed an apparent traumatic injury to her face due to the basic facial structure being unrecognizable. That was Kaylee. Both females showed very pale skin. Both females were covered in dried blood and apparently deceased. After the residence was deemed safe, Officer Warner and I exited the residence to secure it and the immediate area, to include the parking lot immediately to the north. I walked outside and began interviewing Dylan. Dylan told me at approximately 4 a.m. she heard a voice scream and believed it to be Kaylee's. Dylan said she could hear Kaylee run from the 3rd floor down the stairs to the 2nd floor into the northwest bedroom. Dylan said she locked herself in her bedroom and continued to hear a commotion. So she just hid there. She said eventually she stopped hearing a struggle. Why didn't she ring 911? Like, the fuck? You're hearing screaming and as signs of a struggle, and you don't ring the cops? I don't get it. Dylan said she did not recognize the male's voice. She heard a male's voice say, "You're going to be fine. I'm going to help you." She said after approximately a few minutes, she peeked out of her bedroom and observed a male described as approximately 6 feet tall, slim build with a black ski mask, leave the 2nd floor patio area. This patio door was likely left open as it was found open upon my arrival. I'm just going to turn the heater up. I'm freezing. Just like that. All right. Where did I get to? Okay. Dylan said she locked herself in her room. Yeah. 6 foot slim build. Okay. I interviewed an additional roommate, Bethany, who told me she was at the residence during the commotion. Bethany said she was on the 2nd floor in the living room watching Vampire Diaries with Dylan and an unidentified person named Blah. Bethany said at approximately 2 a.m. on the 13th, Madison and Kaylee came home from a night out at the Corner Club in Moscow, Idaho. She said that she also believed Madison and Kaylee went to the Grub Wandering Kitchen truck that was commonly located in the 300 block of South Main Street. Bethany said she and Madison let Madison's dog out as Kaylee's dog, Murphy, sometime between 2 a.m. and 2:30. Bethany said during this, Madison was still outside with Murphy. I mean, Kaylee. Bethany said she went to bed about 2:30 and said Madison came into her bedroom sometime after 2:30 to ask if she knew where Murphy was. Bethany said she told Madison no, and Madison left. Bethany said she woke up in her bedroom, which was located on the 1st floor, to a sound she described as a firecracker and a flash. Bethany said she initially thought the sound was a prank. The hell was that? According to Bethany's phone log she showed me, Bethany called Xana at 4:21 and then Kaylee at 4:31. Bethany said she never received an answer on each call. Bethany said she went back to sleep and woke up at 11:56 when 911 was called. Eventually, I was told Kaylee was likely located on the 2nd floor bedroom with Ethan. After comparing initial statements with other investigating officers, it appeared to actually be Xana that was located on the floor of that bedroom, and Kaylee was one of the other females located in the 3rd floor room. And he located the vehicles: Honda Civic, Chevrolet Cruze, Jeep Wrangler, and a Ford Explorer. I had one of those. he went then back to maintain the log of people coming and going. Okay. Initial interviews. Today, Junior. Come on. Doesn't want to play. There we go. Thank you. November 13th, 22, I was directed to interview potential witnesses in regards to the incidents at 1122 King Road. The following interviewers were conducted at the Moscow Police Department. On the 13th of the 11th, Dylan Murphy was interviewed in regard to the homicide investigation. She said she was the resident of the house where the incident occurs. She said she was at a something party at around 10:30 on the 12th where she was drinking. Dylan said she went to someone's house. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's only 10 to 2. You're getting weak, Jody. Weak. Hang on. Jungle juice. Wakey, wakey. She said she believes she arrived home about 12:30, between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. Dylan said she thought Bethany arrived home about 20 minutes after she arrived. Dylan said, sorry, I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm really trying. Where was I? She said that she believed Maddie and Katie arrived home. I need to have my mouth shut. She believed that Kaylee and Maddie arrived home about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Dylan said, up to this, nothing weird had happened during the night. Dylan said she and her friend, something or other, came home, followed by Bethany from blah. Dylan said something lived at the something house, and Bethany was her roommate at the residence. Dylan said when Maddie, Morgan, and Katie Conclavas came home from the corner club at the same time, and everyone went to bed. Hey, Jen, how you doing, sweetheart? Yay! Well, Monday's probably the slow day, isn't it? I've been yawning, Jenny. Sorry. I'm really trying not to. Maybe I need to make myself a coffee. What was that? The stream I did. You know the stream I did last week where I got booted off and shut down? I got a copyright strike for that. Oops. Yeah, I think I've deleted the whole stream to get out of it. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Still not 100%, but I'm getting. This is what happens when you have a week of normal sleep hours. I'm better off just sticking to US time. Okay. Dylan was asked about the layout of the house. She said Carly's room was directly above her room, and she said that she lived on the second floor and Kaylee lived on the third floor. See, I can't understand. Kaylee's room was above Dylan's. And you can't tell me that they stabbed Kaylee 32 times and pretty much bashed her face till it was unrecognizable, and she didn't hear anything. It didn't ring alarm bells. Like, what? How old? Oh, don't judge, Jodie. Don't judge. Isn't there? Just stupid. Asked about. She said Katie and Maddie both lived upstairs on the third floor in separate rooms. Anna lived closest to the bathroom on the second floor, and Bethany lived on the first floor. When asked about Murphy, Dylan said it was a dog owned in common between Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend. Dylan said there were no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jack, and Dylan said Maddie had a boyfriend named Jack as well, who was in Boise at the time of the incident. Dylan indicated Xana was dating Ethan, who was in the room with her at the time of the incident. Dylan did not know of anyone who would want to hurt Ethan when she was asked. Dylan was asked if she saw any cars in the area that should not be there. Dylan said, no, I was not really looking at that. She woke up at about 4 a.m. where she could hear Kaylee Murphy, the dog, dancing. I don't think it was dancing, Dylan. She said she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy barking. Dylan said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, there is someone here. So ring 911, motherfucker! The fuck, really? You see a stranger in the house and you hear that shit and you don't fucking pick up the phone. You ring everyone else in the house, so you're sober enough to do that, but you don't fucking ring 911. She said Kaylee sounded scared. That is sad. Dylan said at this time she jumped up, locked the door because she did not know what else to do. She said she called out Kaylee's name and did not indicate if she got a response. She then tried to call Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on their phones. No response. So you hear this shit going on. You hear a scream. You hear someone say they're scared and that there's someone here. And they don't answer their phones. So you go to bed. Just like that. Is it just me? Dylan was asked if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything. She said, no, I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good at locking doors and never had problems before. It was just really random. When asked again about the series of events, Dylan said she opened the door when she cried out to Kaylee and then closed the door because she was scared. Dylan said that she opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Xana crying in the bathroom. Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, it's okay, I'm going to help you. She said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way and the voice was one she had never heard before. She said she called out to Kaylee again. So why didn't he, if she's calling out while he's in there, why didn't he attack her as well? She's opened the door, same floor as Anna and Ethan. Why go upstairs? If he's been watching that house, he would know that there is the 4 girls living there. 1, 2, 5 girls living there. Really? You skip the bottom floor, you skip half of the second floor, but you go upstairs, which is even further away. There's more to this. It has to be. Jill said she opens the door again and the guy is right there. She described the male as approximately her height, 5'10", or a few inches taller, not skinny but athletic. Said the suspect was wearing an all black with masks that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. Dylan showed with her hands the mask exposed his nose but covered the mouth area. She said she believed the suspect was white. So she saw his face. So she was facing him and he was facing her when she opened the door. She believed the suspect was white, but did not remember eyebrow colour or what his eyes looked like. She said when she saw the suspect, he saw her and just left. What? What? She couldn't have been that drunk. She rang everyone else in the house. It's only 3 numbers. 911. Not that hard. She rang everyone else. And now he's seen her. She's a witness. Hello? He saw her and just left. She said she believed he was holding something near his stomach or belt line. Dylan used both hands to point straight out from her abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands apart and back together to simulate a bulge. She said this area was black in colour and she thought now maybe it was a gun. Dylan said the unknown object had an arrow shape, seemed really unsure, and said she was tired during the event. Oh, your poor love. Could have been worse. I'll take tired over fucking 50 stab wounds any day. She was asked how long she believed it was from the time Kaylee said someone is here to when she saw the suspect. Dylan said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes. She went on to say she was in and out of it. She did not fully remember the incident. She was asked where the suspect was at in the residence when she saw him, and she said the suspect was between her bedroom door and the kitchen. Dylan said she remembered watching the suspect go out the door and the kitchen. Out the door, at the kitchen door and leave. She said at this time, she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Dylan said the suspect did not walk toward her or say anything. Dylan said once the suspect left, she immediately called Bethany. There you go. Dylan said Bethany informed her she heard a sound that sounded like a firework. Dylan then said she told Bethany she called everyone. Everyone. Except the cops. And they weren't answering. She said she was out of it and believed everyone was just asleep. Because people scream in their sleep. She said she woke. She said she went to Bethany's room, locked the door, and went to bed. Dylan said she woke up at around 11 or 12 o'clock and called her roommates, and no one answered. Dylan said she called H. H came to the residence, went upstairs, and told Dylan they needed to call law enforcement immediately. Dylan was asked if there was anything else she wanted to share. Dylan said the noise, Bethany described the noise as a loud boom. Dylan did not hear it. She was asked if any of her roommates shared any weird experiences in the last couple of weeks, or calls or texts. She said no. It's been all normal. Nothing weird at all. Nothing really weird happens in Moscow usually. When asked if there were any altercations at the something party, Dylan said no, everything was normal. Dylan mentioned again she was with someone and Zana at the party. Dylan was asked if anyone was having sexual relations with anyone they shouldn't be. Ooh, spicy. Of course, they're college students. They're all having sex with people they shouldn't be, and rightfully so. You only live once, and you only perky once. Dylan brought up an incident which occurred about a month prior. She said she and Bethany remembered Kaylee saw a shadow while she was taking Murphy outside. She said Kaylee also mentioned when she was at somewhere 2 or 3 weeks prior, an individual was following her. Dylan also said she arrived home one time and the door to the residence at 112 King Road was found open. Dylan said she did not believe the slider door was locked the night of the 12th of November. She said she heard Murphy barking a lot around 4 a.m. When Kaylee went upstairs. Dylan said she heard Murphy go outside barking as well. Dylan was unsure if Murphy could chase the suspect. No, because he was locked in the upstairs bedroom, wasn't he? Or she? She said she did not remember if the suspect who ran left the slider door open. So-and-so said around 1200 hours on the 13th, Dylan called blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah's girlfriend. Dylan told blah that she thought something was not right in her house. You think? She also told blah that she heard or saw a man in her house the night prior. She asked blah and blah to come over and make sure everything was okay because she locked herself in Bethany's room. Is it Harry? Is it Harry was one of their boyfriends or something? I can't remember. It was 3 years ago. And I was watching every second of this as it unfolded at the time. Where are we? So I think it's Harry said he was the first person to get to the residence. He said he entered the code to the front door where Bethany and Dylan were in bed, in the bedroom on the first floor. Dylan said Bethany were telling Harry they did not know what was going on. He said he went up the stairs and immediately went into Xana's room. He said this was the only room he went into. He said when he approached the door, it was only partially open. He said when he opened it, he saw Xana and Ethan. He said he initially did not realize that all the blood was dried blood in the room. He said that he thought all at first they had been drunk and left a mess. He said when he stood there for a moment, he began to realize what he was seeing. Oh, poor bugger. Fuck. Oh, got goosebumps. Bad. Oh, shivers. He said Bethany and Dylan were uncontrollably crying. He said he told them to get out of the house and call law enforcement. believe they needed to be told. Oh, mother of pearl. And this one might be my last, I think. My eyes are going cross-eyed. Where was I? He said he then went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer. He said he then went into the room and checked the closet to make sure there was not anyone else in the room. He said he checked for a pulse on both Xana and Ethan. He said both of the bodies had rigor mortis and were cold with no breath or pulse. He said he believed the two had been deceased for a while. Yeah, since about 4 a.m., Bethany. Dylan. He said he believed he left the knife on the folding table in the living room. He said, blah, blah, blah. Jack and someone else started to enter the house and come up the stairs. He told them to get out of the residence. Oh, he said this was about the time Moscow PD arrived on scene. He said the officer told him to stay where he was at. He said he did not know if anyone else was upstairs and he had not gone anywhere else in the house. He said he had trouble comprehending what he was seeing. He said he was not at the fraternity party the night prior. He said he and Ethan were texting that night by phone, and Ethan wanted him to come over, but he chose not to. He said he knew Ethan since the fall of 2021 and that he was in blah, 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 and Ethan was a member of blah, blah, blah. He indicated Jack and blah, blah, blah were in the same sorority and were roommates. He said something who was also present was in the fraternity and was currently dating Jack. Someone said, he and someone stayed at someone's apartment with someone and someone the night of 12th of the 11th. Someone was asked when was the last time. Oh, my Lord. Where am I? He was currently dating. He said he and Lala stayed at apartment with Lala, and Lala was asked when he was the last time he was at 1122 King Road. He indicated he was last at the residence on the 12th, where he was pre-gaming for the Vandals football game. He said he got to the residence. I don't know what's wrong with me. Got to the residence about 12 or 1 o'clock and left at about 2:30 to go to a different party. So the last time something was at 1122 King Road was Friday the 11th. He did not know of anyone who had issues with Ethan and Xana dating. He estimated Xana and Ethan were dating for about 8 months. He said he knew Xana very well through his girlfriend, and he said he was not very familiar with Maddie or Kaylee. He allowed pictures to be taken of his phone of the conversations between him and Ethan. He said she texted. Sorry. How many more pages have we got? Oh. Okay. Not long. Right. Where are we? He didn't know of anyone who had issues with them. Yeah, okay. Jack said, someone said she texted Bethany at 11:20 on the morning of the 13th and asked Bethany if she was awake. Someone said Bethany called her back at 11:49. He told whoever she and Dylan were in the bottom bedroom. Jack said Bethany was freaked out because her roommates were not answering the phone. So ring the police and get a welfare check. Motherfuckers. Really? You can't teach common sense. Someone said she heard Dylan on the phone in the background saying, I saw something. Jack said Bethany asked her to come over to 112 King Road and pick her up. Jack said Bethany texted her while she was driving there and said blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah were on the way as well. She said that as she arrived, MPD units were arriving as well. She said she did not go to the sorority party, but went to a different one instead. Said that Bethany and Dylan came to this other party after she left. She estimated Dylan left her party at about 12:30 and Bethany left the party at about 1. She said she was in with and Zana. And Zana and Maddie were both in but they dropped out and Katie was in Can you tell I'm tired? I'm cracking myself up. Oh, fudge buckets. Where was I? Mum. Just a bit. No. She was in that. I read that. She suspected the girls dropped their respective sororities because of issues with other girls in the houses. Respectively, specifically cited girls on the executive board who tell other members what to do. Suspected this was what they did not like. Confirmed that she, blah, 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 were still active members in blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 said the girls who were still active members of the sorority who chose to not live in the house did so because of money issues. Jack said Maddie was Bethany's big sister in the sorority house. Said that she knew Katie was a dark figure staring at her from the tree line when she took her dog Murphy out to pee. Really? Katie saw a dark figure staring at her from the tree line when she took her dog out for a wee. Well, why didn't that fucking come out? I've never heard that. She said this occurred about a month ago. Okay. What is that? Said there has been light-hearted talk and jokes made about a stalker in the past. She said all the girls were slightly nervous about it because being a fact, though. It did not indicate any social media issues or issues between the girls who lived together, and said there was no issue with girls from the sorority and the residents at 112 King Road. Jack said the front door had issues with locking and sometimes it could be opened without a code. He said she did not know the code to the front door and said she was unsure if the residents kept the back sliding door locked regularly. One said he did not go to the blah blah party, but said they went to sleep at 10 o'clock on the 12th. Wussy. At something's apartment on Taylor Avenue. And she woke up around 2 or 3 300 hours. Later said she heard who was I? She said someone and maybe it was Zana and Ethan were up talking in the living room of the apartment until about 500 hours. Huh? What? Come on, no. That can't be the same house. Oh, it's not. Okay. She's in an apartment on Taylor Avenue. Said she woke up at around 2 or 3 hours. 300 said she indicated so-and-so was present but not awake during this time. She said so-and-so said they all went to bed at the same time and woke up again around what he thought was 9 a.m. He said he and blah, blah, blah came into the room. I'm really sorry. I can't help it. I came to the room where he and blah, blah were and said that so-and-so called so-and-so around 10 a.m. and sounded scared. Said that Dylan told someone that had been in her house last night. And she still didn't call. Dylan said blah and blah. Ran downstairs and locked themselves in a room. Said that Dylan informed them that she did this because of her seeing someone in the house. I'm just going to zip it. You could only see his nose and his chin. Said that was freaking out and wanted them to come over. Said she walked in with so-and-so at 112 Kim Road from Blunt Apartments on Taylor Avenue. She and Dylan and Bethany walked out of the house crying. Someone said they arrived to the residence first because he left before them. Said they went to the downstairs door and H told them not to come up the stairs. He said that he did not know Ethan very well. He said that he did not see anything on social media or record. Someone recorded an incident from about a month prior where Dylan said there was a guy stalking her. Someone said he did not hear anything from the night prior. The end. Storybook shut, boys and girls. And we're not going to be looking at the round windows anytime soon. They're going to be closed. I never yawn on a stream ever. It's only 2 o'clock. That's just the team down, Jody. Sorry, it's just not how you make. It's not how you make porridge. Stop it, nose. All right, my darlings. What's today? Monday. I should be good for tomorrow. Definitely not Wednesday. Don't know about Thursday. Depends how swollen my face is. But look for the thumbnail. And speaking of thumbs, you know what to do. Share YouTube love. Give us a like and a sub. All right. If you can't be good at it. And hasta la vista, bitches.
Hey there, thanks for stopping in. We hope you will join us again. We all look forward to next time. We get to talk about true crime. Clues. Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule and the defense rests. Our true crime family is great. Our Discuss the topics we debate. Smash that like and ring that bell. Hit subscribe, you might as well.